unbelievable. With 2:51 on the clock, the Texas Tech Red Raiders led 75-66. Florida proceeds to go on an 18-4 run in 2 minutes and 51 seconds to win 84-79. Jeff, how did this happen, and what were you doing as you're watching this?
Again, just like I thought the last game that Texas Tech played, they were dead and buried. Remember, they were down like 13 with 4 minutes left to Arkansas. Well, now I thought Florida was done. Again, like you said, down 9. They're not playing well. Walter Clayton's struggling a little bit. Alex Condon doesn't look like himself. Micah Hanlockton's getting blown by JT Toppin, who's dominating. Darren Williams is playing well. And then all of a sudden, Thomas Houck hits a couple of threes to get him back to within 3 all of a sudden with about 2.5 left. And then it's who else? Walter Clayton Jr. I don't know what you want to call him now. Like, I didn't have a great nickname for him. You can call him Big Cojones, whatever you want to call him. The dude just makes big plays with the game on the line. He did it against UConn. He did it again tonight. Hit a huge 3 with about 1:50 left to tie the game. And then he had another huge one with about 1 minute left to give them the lead for good. They ended up hitting some big free throws to seal the deal. But it was just like, what the hell just happened? And this Florida team, they kind of seem like they're on a little bit of a mission here. I know Duke's the best team in the country in terms of overall talent. Nobody's going to dispute that. But I will say this Florida team keeps finding ways to win and do it dramatically. And if there's anybody I want with the ball in their hands, game on the line, anybody, Cooper Flag, you name them, Cooper Flag, give it to Janai Broom, whatever. No. Give it to Walter Clayton Jr., period.
Yes. Rob, is you on mute?
It just feels like he looks, he's the most nonchalant assassin that I think I've ever seen in college basketball. Right? Like, he just comes off of these screens and he's like all cool, calm, and collected. And all of a sudden he just takes this like ridiculous fadeaway, off balance, contested jumper with 3 guys in his face. And, they're down by 2 with 1 minute left in regulation with a chance to go to the Final Four. And it's nothing but net. And it's nothing. Like, it doesn't seem like he understands the moment that he is in a lot of these situations, right? It's like, dude, you should be nervous. Like, you shouldn't be that cool and calm and relaxed in that kind of moment under that kind of pressure. I think you're right, Gooden. Of anybody left in the tournament right now, if I need a game-winning shot with 10 seconds left, down by 2, game on the line, I think I'm putting the ball in the hands of Walter Clayton Jr.
Wait, you think?
No, I know.
Right,
Yes. I mean, it's either him or Cooper, and I think you got to give it to Walter Clayton Jr. He's done like 4 games in a row, man. Like, all he does is hit these daggers. It's ridiculous.
Well, considering the stakes, considering what was in the balance, and you're down by 9, and you couldn't hit a 3 to save your life. Florida was missing some wide open looks. And oh, by the way, for about 10 straight minutes, up until we had 3 minutes to go, could Florida buy a stop? They could not stop Texas Tech attacking the rim. They had no answer, none, for dribble penetration. Texas Tech was just attacking at will. Considering all of that, it's one of the best comeback victories in the tournament that I can remember. They looked dead to rights. There were people that said, wait a minute, I walked away from the TV. How the hell did Florida win that game? You know how they first won the game? Because a 33% three-point shooter, Thomas Houck, launches 2 of them and buries both of them. Combine that with some missed free throws, and Todd Golden at the age of 39, shout out to Sean Farnham, who called it in 2022 on our set in New Orleans, he said, I believe that sometime in the next, I believe he said 5 years, we'll see Todd Golden make the Final Four, if not win it all. That was unbelievable.
Yeah, we don't need to build up Sean Farnham's ego any more than it's already built up. Okay, but he was right. He was. I mean, listen, every what's the term?
A blind squirrel finds a nut once in a while.
There you go.
Even the sun shines on a dog's ass.
That's right. That's a better one. That's a better one for Farnham for sure. These were the two youngest coaches in the Sweet 16, by the way. Shire being 37, Todd Golden being 39. The only ones under 40 years old. The four that are left, guys, are kind of the elder statesmen, pretty much, of the Sweet 16. You got Izzo and Rick Barnes at 70, Kelvin Sampson 69, Bruce Pearl 65. The only other one that was in that mix was John Calipari with 66. So it's going to be a combination here of youth, two really young coaches that have done a tremendous job, and two guys that are, nearing the end of their careers who have done a ton. But what Todd Golden has done too, guys, let's also put this in perspective, because he was going through a lot earlier this season off the court. He was going through a Title IX investigation. He was going through a lot of people that deemed him guilty before giving him the benefit of the doubt. And I called some people out for that. I did publicly, because I thought it was complete bullshit that because there's an allegation, anybody can make an allegation. Because there was an allegation that people just felt like, oh, he's guilty. No. He wasn't guilty. And he got through that. His team was focused enough not to let that affect them at a time when it could have derailed their season early on in the year. But they just got better and better and better. And this Florida team, man, they're fun, they're loaded, and they've got so many different pieces that even when an Alex Condon struggles, coming off that ankle injury, they've got so many other guys. But ultimately, they got one guy that just rescues them, and that's Walter Clayton Jr.
Well, I think rescue is the perfect word there, Jeff, because both against UConn and against Texas Tech, I thought it looked like Florida. I don't know if nerves is the right word, but it seemed like the moment might have been a little bit too big for some of those guys. I don't think they played very well against UConn. I don't think they played very well against Texas Tech. I think that they did enough to get themselves in a position to be rescued by Walter Clayton. And tonight it was Tommy Hawk too. I also want to give a shout out to Todd Golden because of something that happened in the final 3 minutes. When it was 75-66, they intentionally fouled down to put him in the one-on-one. They tried to get JT Toppin the first time. They ended up fouling Darian Williams, who's an 84% free throw shooter. He missed the front end. Then they go and they bang a three. Then they do the same thing again to JT Toppin, who's a 60% free throw shooter. He missed the front end, and they go down and they bang another three. That is what won them the game, is that they got the ball back immediately on the front end of one-on-one. That is, you want to talk about analytics, like people think about analytics as something where it's like, well, you know what, you make a bunch of threes and you shoot this and we need to do this and these are the spots that we want to take shots. That's part of it. They think Ken Palm, that's part of it. You know what else it is? It's saying that when we foul a guy that shoots this percentage in a one-on-one, we get this percentage of an increase in the likelihood that we are going to win the game. That all comes from Todd Golden and Jonathan Sapphire on his staff. And shout out to them, man, because I don't know how many coaches would have would be willing to do that, right? Because it's a risk.
With like
if you foul intentionally and they make
maybe
it's a risk.
Nobody.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe nobody. I mean, we haven't seen it. We haven't seen anybody do it to that extent. And you're right. I mean, after Houck hits that three, you're like, all right, they've got a shot. He calls a timeout off the main three with 2:46 on the clock. Williams misses. You just said it. Toppin misses. I mean, that changes everything there. And I just think, I was thinking with when Clayton had the ball with just over a minute left, I'm thinking in my head, it's a 3-point game. Or no, it was a 2-point game. Like, you didn't need the three. You didn't need the three. And he says, screw it.
Doesn't matter with Walter Clayton, Fanta.
He put it on the table, and you got to give him a ton of credit for having the stones to take and make that shot, because he misses it, and then you got to keep playing the foul game or whatnot. You probably would have. It does feel like destiny. It does, because